Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Anna and I make New York City based adventure videos spiked with love and positivity. I also make international videos like this one, where we're visiting Geneva, Switzerland. In this video, I'm going to show you some of the top sites that you shouldn't miss if you're here in this beautiful city. So if you're interested in this, then please keep watching. Welcome to Geneva, Switzerland, a city where international diplomacy meets stunning natural beauty. Nestled along the shores of Lake Geneva and surrounded by the Alps and Jura Mountains, Geneva is Switzerland's second largest city and one of the world's most influential international centers. Known as the capital of peace, Geneva is home to the European headquarters of the United Nations and more than 40 international organizations. But beyond its global significance, Geneva offers visitors a rich blend of history, culture, architecture, and breathtaking scenery. With a population of over 200,000 people within the city limits, about 40% of Geneva's population is foreign-born, making it one of Europe's most international cities. We'll explore some of the city's most iconic landmarks, charming neighborhoods, world-class museums, and beautiful parks. Our first stop is one of Geneva's most photographed landmarks, the Flower Clock. Located in the English Garden, this giant working clock is made from thousands of colorful flowers and plants that change with the seasons. Created in 1955, the flower clock symbolizes Switzerland's world-famous watchmaking industry. The clock's design is carefully maintained year-round by city gardeners, who replace and rearrange flowers to create intricate patterns and vibrant displays. Its sweeping second hand is among the longest in the world. Surrounding the flower clock is a peaceful lakeside park filled with walking paths, flower beds, and fountains. Across the lake is the city's most famous landmark, the Jet of Water. Originally created in the late 19th century as part of a hydraulic power system, the fountain has become one of Switzerland's most recognizable symbols. Initially, it was used as a safety valve for a power plant, rather than as a decorative piece. The power plant diverted water from the Rhone to provide pressurized water for the city's watchmakers to run their machinery. When the factories and watchmakers' workshops closed for the evening, excess pressure built up in the pipes. The 30-meter jet was created as a release valve to safely vent that pressure into the sky. Today, the jet of water shoots a single powerful stream of water approximately 140 meters or 460 feet into the air. It pumps hundreds of liters of water into the air every second. At full force, water exits the nozzle at speeds exceeding 120 miles per hour. From the lakefront, we make our way uphill into Geneva's Old Town, the oldest part of the city. This historic district is a maze of narrow cobblestone streets, hidden courtyards, centuries-old buildings, and charming squares. Walking here feels like stepping back in time. Many of the buildings date back hundreds of years, reflecting Geneva's medieval and Renaissance heritage. Along the winding streets, you'll find boutiques, cafes, galleries, and historic residences that tell the story of the city's evolution. Old Town is also closely connected to the Protestant Reformation and the legacy of John Calvin, whose influence helped shape both Geneva and religious history throughout Europe. Dominating Old Town is St. Pierre Cathedral, one of Geneva's most important religious and historical sites. Construction began in the 12th century, and over the centuries the cathedral has incorporated Romanesque, Gothic, and classical architectural styles. The cathedral is most famous for its connection to John Calvin, the leader of the Protestant Reformation during the 16th century. Next to the cathedral is a small area with benches, which has an outlook point over Old Town. If you carefully look far off into the distance, the famous jet of water can be seen. Continuing in Geneva's historic center, we next visit the Tavel house. Built in the 12th century and rebuilt after a devastating fire in the 14th century, the Tavel house is the oldest private residence in Geneva. Today, the building functions as a museum dedicated to the city's history. Its medieval architecture, fortified appearance, and preserved interiors provide insight into daily life during earlier centuries. Wandering along the streets in Old Town, I came across a part that none of the online resources mentioned. The ancient arsenal is a historic site located in Old Town. It features 3 large mosaic murals created by Alexander Kingria that illustrate key scenes from Geneva's history. The open-air exhibit also houses cannons dating back to the 17th century. The intricate carvings and details on these old cannons was very impressive. Just a short walk away is Place du Bourg-de-Four, the oldest public square in Geneva. This lively plaza has served as a gathering place since Roman times. Today, it remains one of the city's most popular meeting spots. The square is surrounded by elegant historic buildings, outdoor cafes, restaurants, and small shops. Visitors and locals alike gather here to enjoy coffee, lunch, or simply watch the world go by. At the center of the square stands an attractive fountain, adding to the relaxed atmosphere. Whether you're taking a break from sightseeing or enjoying Swiss cuisine, Place du Bourg-de-Four captures the welcoming spirit of Geneva's Old Town. Next, we visit one of Geneva's most powerful historic monuments, the Reformation Wall. Located in Bastions Park, this massive stone monument commemorates the Protestant Reformation and the individuals who helped shape it. The wall stretches more than 300 feet and features imposing statues of key Protestant leaders, including John Calvin, Theodore Beza, John Knox, and Julian Farel. The monument was inaugurated in 1909 to mark the 400th anniversary of Calvin's birth and the 350th anniversary of the founding of Geneva University. Inscribed along the wall is the famous motto, Post tenebras lux, meaning after darkness, light. The monument serves as a reminder of Geneva's pivotal role in one of the most significant religious and cultural movements in European history. Just a few steps from the Reformation Wall is the Grand Theatre, the main opera house. Located in the Place Neuve Square, it's recognized as the largest production theater in French-speaking Switzerland. The current building opened in 1879, though it was rebuilt following a fire in 1951. The monument featured in front is dedicated to General William-Henri Dufour. The famous monument in front of the UN's Palais des Nations is called the Broken Chair. It's a massive 12-meter wooden sculpture crafted from 5.5 tons of wood. It features one of its 4 legs jaggedly snapped in half, yet it continues to stand upright. The sculpture was commissioned by the NGO Handicap International in 1997. The broken, missing leg symbolizes the devastating loss of limbs suffered by civilian victims of war. Despite the missing leg, the remaining chair stands tall, representing the dignity and resilience of the victims. Geneva's global importance becomes especially clear at our next destination, the Palais des Nations. Located within Ariana Park, this impressive complex serves as the European headquarters of the United Nations. Built between 1929 and 1938, the Palais des Nations originally housed the League of Nations, the international organization created after World War I. Today, it hosts thousands of diplomatic meetings every year and plays a central role in international cooperation, human rights, humanitarian efforts, and global diplomacy. Behind the Palais des Nations in Ariana Park is the Musée Ariana. It's Switzerland's only museum entirely dedicated to ceramics and glass, housing a vast collection of over 27,000 objects. The palace housing the museum was built at the end of the 19th century and has stunning neoclassical and neo-Baroque architecture. The collection spans 1,200 years and documents 7 centuries of ceramic and glass creation in Switzerland, Europe, and the Far East. Close by is the Botanical Garden. It features thousands of plant species from around the world organized into carefully curated collections. Visitors can explore themed gardens, greenhouses, and educational exhibits while enjoying a peaceful atmosphere away from city center. All of this is free of charge. The park is home to graceful spotted deer, often fallow or roe deer, wandering within their designated enclosure. The garden collaborates with the National Safeguard Program to raise certain endangered indigenous deer species. The garden also keeps playful mountain-dwelling goats along with other barnyard animals like sheep and chickens. They graze in fenced pastures right along the walking paths, making them highly accessible for close-up viewing. Together, these green spaces highlight Geneva's commitment to preserving nature and creating beautiful public areas for everyone to enjoy. One of the best ways to appreciate Geneva's beauty is from the water. Lake Geneva is known as Lac Léman in French. Boarding a boat on Lake Geneva provides a unique perspective of the city and its surroundings. As the vessel glides across the lake, passengers enjoy views of the jet of water, elegant waterfront promenades, historic buildings, luxury hotels, and beautifully landscaped parks. Looking further into the distance, the Alps rise dramatically above the horizon, creating one of Europe's most picturesque settings. The lake itself is among the largest in Western Europe and is shared between Switzerland and France. Whether taking a short sightseeing cruise or a longer excursion to lakeside towns, a boat ride offers unforgettable scenery and a relaxing escape from the city's busy streets. The Brunswick Monument is a neo-Gothic mausoleum built in 1879 to commemorate the Duke of Brunswick. The Duke bequeathed his massive fortune to the city under the condition they build him a lavish replica of the Scaliger tombs in Verona. Constructed entirely from Carrara marble and Verona stone, the hexagonal structure features intricate stonework, spires, and elaborate statues of the Duke's ancestors. The park it's located in is a wonderful place to relax and have a snack at the Cottage Cafe. Parc Lagrange is Geneva's largest public park. Situated on a hillside overlooking the lake, the park is known for its expansive lawns, majestic trees, and spectacular rose gardens. Visitors can stroll through colorful flower displays, relax beneath centuries-old trees, or enjoy panoramic views across Lake Geneva. Parc Lagrange perfectly captures Geneva's blend of elegance, tranquility, and natural beauty. At our final stop, Geneva's reputation as a center of luxury watchmaking is celebrated at the Patek Philippe Museum. The museum showcases centuries of innovation and craftsmanship. Visitors can admire an extraordinary collection of watches, clocks, musical timepieces, and intricate mechanisms dating from the 16th century to the present day. Among the highlights are rare, handcrafted masterpieces that demonstrate the remarkable precision and artistry for which Swiss watchmakers are known. Even visitors with little interest in watches often leave impressed by the level of engineering and craftsmanship on display. The museum serves as both a tribute to the famous Patek Philippe brand and a celebration of Geneva's watchmaking heritage. It's an ideal place to conclude our exploration of the city. From medieval streets and historic churches to international diplomacy, world-class museums, and breathtaking lakeside scenery, Geneva offers an extraordinary variety of experiences. It's a city where history and modernity coexist, where global decisions are made, and where nature is never far away. Whether you're visiting for a few days or planning a longer stay, Geneva leaves a lasting impression through its culture, beauty, and unique international spirit. If you enjoyed part 1 of the Switzerland series, stay tuned for an upcoming video where we visit Bern, the capital of the country. Taking a 2-hour train from Geneva to Bern is the easiest way to get there, offering you stunning views of the country. One of my favorite sights were the occasional patches of happy, organic, spotted cows grazing on the grassy fields. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss my videos when they go out on Thursday evenings. In the meantime, let's keep in touch on Instagram at Miss Anna Adventures. I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you in next week's video. Take care. Bye.